The female teacher deliberately made an inappropriate and suggestive gesture toward Mark during class. Unexpectedly, Mark responded by knocking over the lectern in frustration and leaving the room without looking back. However, the teacher immediately followed him and cornered him in a secluded area. She threatened him, stating that if he did not comply with her unprofessional demands, his chances of graduating would be at risk. Before we dive in, please subscribe. Mark later met a new, charismatic teacher named Vina, who had recently transferred to the school. She quickly became a popular topic of conversation among Mark and his peers. One day after school, Vina asked Mark to stay behind. She initially scolded him for passing notes that disrupted the class and demanded he hand the paper over. Mark hesitated for a long time, but eventually complied under her pressure. Upon reading the bold and forward words written on the note, Vina did not get angry. Instead, she smiled and openly shared her own feelings with him. Confused by her reaction, Mark found himself frequently distracted by Vina's presence. Over time, through constant contact, he began to develop confusing emotional feelings for her. One day, since the class monitor was absent, Vina asked for a volunteer to help her carry textbook. Mark eagerly stepped forward. While they were walking, Mark became overwhelmed by his attraction to her and made a bold, boundary-crossing move in the stairwell. Rather than stopping him, Vina encouraged the behavior and began to guide him further into an unprofessional relationship. Eventually, Mark's involvement with Vina led him to her home. However, her husband, Paul, returned home early from a business trip. Mark narrowly avoided a confrontation by hiding and later trying to sneak out. Though Paul caught him, he recognized Mark as a student and didn't suspect any misconduct. A few days later, after spending the night there, Vina left for school early and left a note for Mark, claiming he was sick so he wouldn't get in trouble for being absent. When Mark woke up and went to the kitchen, he was stunned to find Paul there. Expecting a confrontation, Mark was surprised when Paul admitted that the state of his marriage was no longer his concern. Paul confessed that their relationship had become hollow and distant after he had been unfaithful in the past. After Paul fell into a heavy sleep from drinking, Mark felt a sense of guilt, but remained confused as to why the couple stayed together. He waited for Vina to return to ask for the truth. Vina revealed her darker intentions. She explained that since Paul had betrayed her first, she wanted him to experience that same pain. Mark suddenly realized he was never actually cared for. He was merely a pawn in her game of revenge. Disgusted, he decided to end the relationship immediately. Despite his rejection, Vina continued to make inappropriate advances toward him during class. Mark, viewing this as a deep insult, reacted by knocking over a desk and walking out, leaving Vina humiliated. Deeply affected by the rejection, Vina began to spiral. But soon her sadness turned into a desire for vengeance. She went to the principal and filed false allegations, claiming Mark was a disruptive student who frequently skipped class, hoping to have him expelled. When Mark confronted her, she told him this was only the beginning of his troubles. Seeking a way out, Mark turned to Paul, hoping the husband would testify about Vina's true character at school. However, Paul, weighed down by his own guilt and the ruins of his marriage, refused to help. Mark was left to face the situation on his own.